this is Eflex and welcome back to another A Producer's Approach video. In this video we're going to be looking at Rob Gasser's song No Funk. So if you guys have not watched my videos in the past, I break down these videos into three separate parts. The beginning is the intro and backstory part. After that I give a breakdown analysis section. And then lastly after that there's an outro section just wrapping up my thoughts and opinions. So this is Rob Gasser's song No Funk. This song is really good. I recently rediscovered the song because I remember hearing the song when it first came out in 2014, but I hadn't heard it in quite a while and forgot, how melodic it was and just how different the structure was for this song and how upbeat this song was. So Rob Gasser, at least for me, I think I explained it in a past video, but I discovered him at around the same time as Wario. His song No Idea was one of the first songs I listened to on Funky Panda that was not on Monster Cat when I was first starting to listen to electronic music. So I've been following Rob Gasser for years, and I know a good amount of his discography. And this song, I don't know if a lot of people know of. In terms of a lot of his NCS releases, which have like 1 million, 2 million views, this could be one of those kind of underrated songs, but at least to me, this is definitely one of his better releases, up there with, that Fox Stevenson remix that he did of Throwdown and some of his other songs. But this song in itself is a little more unique, so I'll let you guys see why as we listen to the song. So this is Rob Gasser's song, No Funk. Let's get going. Alright, so that intro I just wanted to point out is really cool. He has a high pass filter pretty much on the whole song. So if you didn't have that high pass filter in the beginning, the song would pretty much sound like how it does when it kind of comes into full force and you kind of hear all the sounds in like full width and volume. But he has like a high pass filter just kind of in the beginning of the song, which is really cool. You don't really hear that with a lot of songs where it's like the whole part of the song is in a high pass filter. So that's one of the elements I kind of like from the song. It's a little more unique with that structure in terms of, for more of an electro song, they normally have the traditional kind of kick snare intro. This is like a more unique one where you have the whole song pretty much high pass with all the pretty much the regular sounds playing. And then once the high pass filter comes down, then everything kind of comes back, like the main lead, the kick, some hi-hats, and every other sound that's playing as well. So that's a really cool, unique introduction and just structure to a song. So let's keep going. Alright, so in this section here is kind of like the break, I guess you would say. The kick snare kind of came in after the high pass filter, and then you kind of had the lead, the bass playing, the lead sound, very much a Rob Gasser lead, unique sound design sound. And then the background sounds like there's kind of like an ARP playing in the background, just kind of adding to the flow of the song. But I like how this song also has that little bit of an 8-bit vibe to this kind of feel as well overall in the song. So 8-bit kind of electro, or 8-bit feeling electro, at least to me, is kind of what I like. So yeah, I just want to point out that ARP in the background as well, because it was a little bit hard for me to hear, and I think that might have been like the first time I've heard the ARP in the background. So definitely an interesting thing to point out. So let's keep going. So just to kind of back up into the build up, what I noticed in this build up is like the kind of funky pluck on the bass kind of comes in, and then the sound that's in this kind of more big room stylish drop is coming in, but there was no white noise sound to build up the tension. Actually, it sounded kind of like the sounds were put through a high pass filter, but that's pretty much it. And the high pass filter was not as extreme as the intro of the song, so pretty interesting. I didn't notice a white noise riser there in that build up, which is probably the first time I think I've noticed a song not really use some type of white noise kind of noise to build the tension in some way. So that's pretty interesting there. But in the drop, you kind of hear the kick. I don't even really hear a snare that much either, and you kind of hear the boom 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 boom, kind of like a lead, but in a very unique Rob Gasser sound. Reminds me of like more of a big room drop where the lead and the bass line kind of are playing the same thing. And then at the end of the phrase here, like you kind of hear the saw waves kind of come back in from Rob Gasser, as well as the kind of funky bass pluck on the bottom coming in every once in a while. So let's continue with the rest of this drop, and I'll talk more after that. Alright, so within that drop, the second part of the first drop, basically kind of hear the bass noise sound, and then at the end of each phrase you kind of hear the kind of the same sound that you hear kind of in the beginning sound, almost like a saw wave. And then towards the end of this drop you kind of hear kind of like a glitch synth kind of in the back. It goes dun, 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 kind of to add the flow in the background. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't notice that either when listening to the song, not analyzing it like now. So interesting how like he incorporated different synths, even though it's kind of like a more big roomish type drop where everything's kind of following the lead. He still has other elements in the background that are just kind of helping the flow of the rest of the song kind of keep moving and keeping that high energy. So it's pretty interesting. Didn't notice that in the past. So you hear this part now is kind of glitching, almost sounds like a record player, almost like switching, or like a radio station switching. So it's pretty interesting. Let's keep going. Alright, so that was kind of the break and build. So the break kind of starts off with the piano, and then the piano is really cool. It glitches as well, and then the kind of jingling hi-hats kind of come in as well, and then the kind of synth kind of comes back in, as well as I think the lead sound kind of like filtered, and then like kind of the saw wave synth also comes in playing along with the kind of piano. But I just want to say that piano is pretty interesting. I like how it's like a very unique piano sound of Rob Gasser, but I like how he got it to glitch, almost like it was like some video game soundtrack or something. So that it's really clean too. It's not like a distorted piano or anything. It's like a really clean sound, which is also what I like as well. And how he integrated the high pass filter in with kind of the synths coming back in, and then the saw wave kind of synth sound almost coming in as well. And in this build up. I noticed a white noise kind of sound effect. I wouldn't say it's a riser, I would just kind of say it's like a sweep. And I noticed it more this time because I think maybe to bring more tension into this drop. So let's keep going. All right, so we'll back up a little bit into the second drop. So the second drop is more melodic. It's basically like how the first break section was in the more melodic structure of that song, or not that song, but that part of the song. And basically it kind of just loops in that section there, playing for the full second drop. So that's where the variation is. The first drop was more kind of like the kind of complexity big room drop, whereas this one was the more melodic drop, but it's similar in terms of melody as the first break section of this song, which is very interesting. The melodic part personally is what I like, but what I noticed in the melodic part is actually there's an ARP sound playing in the background that's kind of going it's like kind of playing in the background to give extra flow for sure, I could tell, and movement. And I don't notice with the percussion that there's the hi-hats or the jingle as much as I did kind of in the break. It just sounded like a kick snare. And I noticed also that the lead sound is pretty interesting. So it goes dun, 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 dun. That's like a lot of pitch bending that he has going on, and I never really realized that before. I just thought that was like the change in note, but it actually sounds kind of like a pitch bend every single time. It kind of dips down and then changes notes after that within the lead, but he has like a various different pitch bends, I guess, within that lead, which is really cool. I think that's a really nice effect with the lead, and it just incorporates really well within the song with how glitchy and kind of that electro chiptune-ish 8-bit type glitchiness you kind of have going on within the song. So overall, that's Rob Gesser's song No Funk. Just my takeaways from the song: the structure of the song is very unique. It's not traditional with the intro, outro, or even just how certain sections are utilized, like how the second drop is similar in terms of melody and chord progression to the first break section in the intro of the song. So that's something you don't normally hear. And just the high pass filtering used in the very beginning of the song, so you don't really hear that very often in most songs, especially with like almost a full song playing out, almost like that full drop, except just high pass filter to start the song. That's really unique. But the parts I really like about the song are the melodic parts. The complex drop was pretty cool. I like how these kind of saw waves and the bass pluck was really utilized within that section. But in the melodic section, I like how he used the lead and pitch bended all those different parts within the lead. Like instead of changing the note, he pitch bend at least those leads quite a bit. And I like the use of the glitching in that break section of the piano. Like the glitching of the notes is just really cool. So overall, this song's super clean mix-wise, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, listen to Rob Gesser's music if you like this style of music. He does have harder styles, like Temanite. They have harder styles, but they also have more melodic styles. Each artist, at least from what I've showcased, they have a very unique, distinct sound. Like each artist can use a piano sound, but like this piano sound sounds very different than Drop Tower's piano sound. As you can tell, it sounds like a little bit different. I can't explain exactly what it is since I didn't make those sounds, but there is a little bit of a difference. And overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this song. If you guys want to check out this song, the description will be below for a link to listen to the original song so you can listen to it as well. I have my original songs list on my channel as a playlist so you can listen to all the original songs. And then if you want to listen to songs that I kind of like to listen to, or I might do a video on, there's this possible future APA songs. Right now that has the most views because, you know, that's where most of the songs I listen to are, so that would make the most sense. But overall, I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe, comment if you feel like, share with your friends if you want them to, you know, hear me ramble. But if not, you know, a like or a comment would definitely help. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good one and check out Rob Gasser. All right, peace.